I am a huge Bray Wyatt fan. From, hey, I was going to say when he appeared on the roster. I loved him when he was on NXT. You know, people talk about how Roman Reigns was a standout on NXT. I think Bray Wyatt was an even bigger standout on NXT. I just love his cult leader character. I like how we have this guy who's a monster in terms of he's just evil, one, and he's a masochist. He loves pain. So a character like that, there are so many great things you can do with that. You know, he doesn't always have to win. And I'm not saying he was ruined because he lost to John Cena and to, Chris Jericho, and he lost to Taker. Please listen to what I have to say. I'm going to explain all of this because I think a lot of fans, when they hear stuff like this, they assume shallow reasons. Like, oh, he lost, so he's ruined. No. Someone with a shallow mind might think that, but the X-Man doesn't. When I look at Bray Wyatt, someone like him is a villain that isn't necessarily concerned about wins and losses. Okay, his idea, although it is important, yes, as someone in the wrestling business, in this world we created as wrestling, wins and losses do matter because you win, you get more money. You lose, you don't get as much money. And if you have a family, if that character has a family, and sometimes they say they do, sometimes they say they don't. In this instance, Bray Wyatt, the character, I seriously doubt money is a priority to him. I think him being the evil villain, the evil masochist, that cult leader that only cares about people that worship him or worship his god, which is Sister Abigail, his main concern is one of two things, in my personal opinion. What can I do to bring this opponent, this guy, girl, person, closer to Sister Abigail? Or two, since you don't believe in my God, or you refuse to, what can I do to dismantle your very being? Mentally, physically, emotionally. What can I do to eat your world? That's why he's called the Eater of Worlds. A character like that, man, how can you not like something like that? Which is why it really bothers me how badly the WWE managed to screw this guy up. I won't lie and say the losses aren't a part of the problem, because they are. What I am saying is it's not just about the losses. So let's go back to the beginning. So as we know, Bray Wyatt debuted in 2013 against the Demon Kane. The Big Red Machine is what I will always call him. Except for now, because Corporate Kane sucks. But back then, he was the Demon Kane. And during this feud, we got to see a glimpse of how psychotic and sick this guy is. He goes after the most dangerous, or one of the most dangerous men on the roster. And when Kane confronted him about the Inferno match, or the Ring of Fire match, why not just call it Inferno? I don't get that. But when he was confronted about that match, he laughed. He enjoyed it. He reveled in the idea of an Inferno match. And although some of you don't like how it was done, and the match itself did not live up to your expectations, understandably, the story of the match was good. He beat the Demon Kane in his match, and, he came out looking like, oh my god, this guy's crazy, And then afterwards, he just randomly attacked, well, maybe he was told to by the authority, but then he made this crusade to go after Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, and for months, he just went after these two and gave them hell. He even tried to get Daniel Bryan to join his cult, and for a while he almost did, but we know where that led. And ultimately, because we saw the Royal Rumble, Bray Wyatt got one over Daniel Bryan, and as a result of that match, he was not in the Royal Rumble. That was not what the WWE intended, but that is what we got from that. And immediately after he beat Daniel Bryan, he went into a feud with the Shield. The Shield, the most dominant stable on the roster. And with his Wyatt family, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, he beat the Shield. So, like the first half year that he was there, Bray Wyatt was looking like a beast. He was looking strong. He was looking awesome. This guy who was practically unbeatable. He was crazy. He was psychotic. And even if he lost, his goal was not to beat you in the ring. His goal was to beat you down mentally, physically, emotionally, to either get you to join his cult or to just destroy you. Period. That was his goal. And he was over. He got over because of it. Not just because, we like villains and we like to go against the grain. No, he was a very interesting character. Let me stop right here to segue to something. Why is it that nowadays the characters that are heels have to be bland, boring, and have no interesting features? That just seems to be WWE's default for heels. They can't be interesting. They can't have likable characters because that's not right. And I get you're supposed to have dislikable traits, but who cares if the audience likes them? In this case, Bray Wyatt's character, to see the audience want to follow him, he should be all over that. Yes, follow me. Worship Sister Abigail. So for him to go against that, that's not right. That doesn't make any sense. And I will reiterate that point later on in the video, especially when the Wyatt family breaks up. But getting back on track, right after he has that feud with the Shield, he goes into a feud with John Cena. Now, why did he go after John Cena? And no, it's not because the WWE wanted these two to work, so there you go. And they wanted to defeat the John Cena monster. No, guys, go with me on this. The Bray Wyatt character's explanation was, and he actually cut a promo on this, I don't like the fact that the universe and people worship you. The company worships you. See, a character like Bray Wyatt wants people to worship his God, which is Sister Abigail, or him, in a sense. And the fact that people were worshiping John Cena and not him, that's a very, very disturbing thing for his character. So, to stop that, he wanted to dismantle and destroy John Cena. And I will say, the first part of this feud, leading up to WrestleMania, I enjoyed because that is exactly what was reflected. He didn't try to beat him in the match. No, he was playing mind games with him. Backstage, the whole Children of the Corn segment, he's got the whole world. They go out there wearing masks and stuff like that. That type of stuff is really awesome. He's trying to break John Cena, trying to get him to portray his morals and stuff like that. That is something I really enjoyed. That is a good story. And guys, understand me when I say this. This is what Bray Wyatt's character is about. It was never about the matches. It's how he tries to break people mentally, physically, emotionally. That is what made his character awesome. We saw that through WrestleMania. The whole thing with John Cena trying to fight his morals, fighting against his morals, almost using a chair on Bray Wyatt. Ultimately, Bray Wyatt lost, which, I still don't agree with. I feel like he should have won by DQ or beat him. The reason why John Cena lost is because he was unwilling to sacrifice his morals. But whatever happened, happened. It was still good afterwards because Bray Wyatt got the fans. That is what made up for it. Because then you got the story of, okay, I can't break you. I'll just take your audience. I'll take your fans. I'll take your children. Because during that time, the feud was awesome. He was accomplishing his goal. He was turning the audience on John Cena, so they were no longer worshiping him. They were now worshiping him and his god, Sister Abigail. He went out there. He was over like a boss during that time. Everywhere he went, he's got the whole world in his hands. The cell phone lanterns, the lights in the cell phones all over the arenas. That's when it started. It was awesome. Every time he came up on the Titantron, Sacramento, Houston, Ohio, we're here. You know what I'm saying? It was great, man. That was the best time for Bray Wyatt because of what he was going through with John Cena. That all fell downhill following Extreme Rules. Now, the Extreme Rules match, that was bad. I'll admit that. It was ridiculous that it took the entire Wyatt family and then a kid in a sheep mask to beat John Cena. That was just... I mean, these guys beat the Shield, but they can't beat John Cena in a steel cage match. It makes no sense. But the match itself would have been okay if, and only if, John Cena would have sold it. Guess what? Nothing. Came out on main event and talked about how you don't scare me anymore, you mean nothing. Bam! Okay, so everything he did to John Cena meant nothing, so the feud didn't mean anything. That is why, personally, I know a lot of people liked the Payback match. I didn't, because story-wise, it just didn't make any sense. The match itself, while you might think it was awesome, it didn't make any sense. Bray Wyatt lost, and then he went away for like a month. And then he fought Chris Jericho. Initially, we were excited. And then it didn't go anywhere. Why? Because, first off, why was he going after Chris Jericho? That was never explained. So the story wasn't there, so the whole point of Bray Wyatt's character just went out the window. I'm just attacking you because, like, why are you attacking him? Are you trying to get him to join your cult? Or, you know, is this another John Cena situation where the audience loves Chris Jericho, you worship him, you should be worshiping me, you know, or my God? Or was it one of those things where it's like, I used to worship you? Was it personal? I used to worship you, not anymore. Whatever the case was, nothing was explained, which is why that feud, although he came out on top, didn't mean anything. And immediately afterwards, I'm sorry, again, the same three guys that beat the Shield, all of a sudden just get ran over by John Cena, just get bulldozed over by him. It doesn't help. And also the fact that the Usos constantly beat up the Wyatt family doesn't help either. Again, when you establish this stable as a dominant stable that beat the Shield, by the way, the same stable that the WWE established as one of the most dominant stables in the freaking history of WWE, to see them get beat by the Usos, get bitched out by John Cena, it doesn't make sense. The inconsistency of their booking and storylines is what killed them. And as soon as that was done, what happens to the Wyatt family? Bray Wyatt disbands it. I set you free. Whoa. Time out. Is it the whole purpose of your character to bring people to Sister Abigail, to get people to worship you? So now you're going to go against that? Now you're going against the very essence of what made you awesome. Now for some dumb dick reason, and because the WWE panicked after they fed Bray Wyatt to John Cena and the fans were outraged by it, they decided to revamp Bray Wyatt, and now he doesn't want any followers. What? That makes little to no sense and goes against his character. And as a result, people lost interest in him during his feud with Dean Ambrose, no less. That is why ultimately I feel like that feud didn't really live up to anything. Yes, Bray Wyatt beat Dean Ambrose. I mean, he beat him in every single match they had, except for their Tribute to the Troops match, of course. But every other match, their TLC match, their ambulance match, he beat him. But again, what did he get out of it? It's not about the matches with Bray Wyatt, it's about the story. There was no story. Oh, he's crazy. Let's fight. It's stupid. And then they finally, around this time, they had a chance to re-establish him. He went after The Undertaker. And it was a glorious storyline because he wanted to be the new face of fear. That guy that fans can look at and be terrified of. And you know what? It was a glorious, great build-up. It was a good story. And what happens? Once again, just like they did with John Cena, he fights The Undertaker and he loses. This is a situation where I feel like the storyline really called for him to win, because you have this guy who's preaching about, oh, I'm going to eat your world, I'm going to dismantle you, I'm going to do all these crazy things to you. Now, not only does he not want followers, but now he cannot back up what he says. Okay, John Cena was one thing, but now he can't even do what he has set out to do. So next time that Bray Wyatt comes on talking about, I'm here to do this, I'm here to do that, why should we listen to him? Why should we take him seriously? This is not a shot at Wyndham Rotunda. That is the real name of the guy who plays Bray Wyatt. He is a great talent. He is a great worker. But the character Bray Wyatt, I feel like, is in a very bad place, because the WWE decided not to take him seriously and wasted many opportunities to really establish him as a top talent. He is never going to fight The Undertaker again. Never. It's not going to happen. Okay? He might fight Sting, but even if he fights Sting, I don't even think they're going to have him go over Sting. Okay? I think Bray Wyatt ultimately is going to be just one big enhancement talent. They bring him on to be an opponent for someone like a Roman Reigns or someone they want to put over. And that's not cool. It's not. I get that he's only 27 years old, but come on, man. Why not establish him now so then you can use him for future big matches so that he can then put people over? He's not even established yet. He was established somewhat with the Wyatt family, but guess what? They're gone! So now, where does Bray Wyatt go? I don't know. You don't know. He is now directionless. And if he has another feud, what's to say he will back up what he says? Because he hasn't been doing it very often. Do you see what I mean? Do you see how I feel the WWE has ruined Bray Wyatt? Hopefully, and I seriously mean this, hopefully this can change. Over time, I either want to see him get his character back, become that cult leader who revels in the destruction of human beings, mentally, physically, and, worships Sister Abigail, and actually welcomes others to worship Sister Abigail. I never got why they stopped him from doing the whole Sacramento, we're here. And again, I get that he's a heel. That doesn't mean he can't do the entrance. What sense does it make to stop something that fans actually go to the arenas to be a part of? They want to be a part of the cell phone lighting. They want to hear Bray Wyatt say their town's name. So why would you take that away? I don't get it, okay? Stop being stupid with Bray Wyatt. Use him correctly. That is the only way that you're going to establish him, and he can be useful to you. Because I guarantee you, the more they continue to book him like crap, I give it 2 years, and the only time you will see him is on commentary. Seriously, on commentary. That is where he's headed if they don't take him seriously. That's my opinion. That is what I feel about Bray Wyatt. But I know most of you will defend Bray Wyatt. I want you to. I want you to support Bray Wyatt, okay? I want you to get behind him. I want you to like him. So, if you disagree, I welcome it. If you agree, awesome. And I hope over time I'm proven wrong. I want to be proven wrong. But I am not scared to call it like it is. The WWE has ruined one of, or a potential main event player. And his name is Bray Wyatt. Now you need to fix it. This is your boy, the Alyx, man, signing off. Peace.